So, yeah, we'll,
That's about right, isn't it?
Yeah.
we're still waiting for a couple of people, but we'll kick off and get going. So we've got quite a packed agenda today. Jonathan has just clarified that this isn't red wine, although I can still taste red wine. Thank you all for coming to this year's Stakeholders Forum. It really is great to see so many people turn out. There's some founding members. This is the 5th year we've run this event now. 5 years ago, when the marketing team suggested to me that we should get all of our most important clients in one room and have an open and honest roundtable discussion, I thought they were absolutely crazy. But 5 years on, it really is an important event for us. From this event, we set our tactical objectives as a management team based on your feedback, and so to see so many people in the room, there's customers from all group companies of all different sizes from many different industries, and so I thank you for sparing the time today. Lydia and her team has put on a super agenda today, some really exciting sessions. I'll start off and give a bit of a background to the Stakeholders Forum for the people that haven't been before, cover why we do this event and what we want to come out of it. I'll then move on and give you some background and an overview of Nasstar PLC at group level, to really give you the high overview of what we're doing as a group, why we're doing it, and how the last 12 months has panned out. And obviously, naturally, the management team that are presenting after me will go into much more detailed operational overview of what we've been doing. I finished my session with an overview of an event I went to. I went to Microsoft headquarters to their Cloud and Hosting Summit, and there was a number of takeaways I took from that. So I'll finish this morning with just a quick overview of what I took away from that, because I think that really sets the tone for a lot of the following presentations in terms of where the industry is going and where the technology is going. I'll then hand over to David McCarthy. Many of you will know David. So David joined Nasstar PLC in January this year as Managing Director, and he really is giving a warts and all presentation on what he's found in our organisation and the changes that he is making to address what he's found. So he sat me down before this event and said, "Can I show you my presentation? Because I'm a bit worried that I can share this content with the customers." And I said, absolutely, this is the content we should share with our clients, because we've got to be open and honest with you in terms of what we're doing as a business. Following David Flax and Pete Cartwright then followed with a bit more of the operational detail. We then stop for coffee before the next session. We try and scare you witless with a cyber security session. And it really is a super session. We've got a personal investigator coming in to talk about cyber crimes that they're involved in investigating. We've got Barclays Bank talking around the type of bank fraud that they see within industry and the threats that are there. We've got one of our comms partners, Matrix, coming in to talk about the weakness of mobile phones and telephony systems and the vulnerabilities around that. And then we've got somebody, Detective Sergeant from the cybercrime unit from the police, talking about the crime that they're seeing and the industry trends that they're seeing. So we're going to scare you with all that information. I sat through those presentations last week, and they really are superb. And then Shannon, our Head of Infrastructure at Nasstar, will talk you through how we are mitigating those threats. And then unfortunately, Steve Peake was going to follow that, but he's had a family emergency. So Steve Peake won't be with us today, but Shannon's going to cover his piece, because what we want to do is work with you proactively to address the risk of cyber threat, because what will come out today is actually technology is only a very small percentage of the risk, and actually it's people and process which are the bigger risk, and we want to work with you to address those areas. So a big session, and I apologise for the length of that session, but when we went through it last week, the content is so relevant, we couldn't cut anything out of it, and when we thought you'd want to see it all. So it is a long session before lunch, but a very worthwhile one. This afternoon, we then split into round tables. Many of the feedback from last year was that you wanted some industry-specific round tables. So we've got 2 vertical round tables within the legal sector and within the recruitment sector. A big percentage of people here today are from one of those 2 sectors. And then we've also got a 3rd industry generic session around innovation, and James Mackey and Dan Bradley. Dan is looking at the innovation that's kind of here and now, and James is on another planet. Really, really entertaining, and if the technology that they're talking about actually comes to fruition, then we're going to have a very exciting 20 years ahead of us, I think. And we'll finish for a coffee before the most important part of the agenda is where we jointly set the objectives. So people that have been to the Stakeholders Forum before will know that based on your feedback, and we want this to be a 2-way event, we will pull out a number of objectives for us to address over the next 12 months. And so we'll jointly set those in the last session before we let you out, hopefully before rush out. So just a very quick introduction to the Stakeholders Forum and why we started the Stakeholders Forum. Essentially, it is about a steering committee for our management team. So obviously we've got strategic aims as a group, but to fulfil that, we've got to be matching the needs of our clients, and we can only do that with your feedback. So it really is about setting our tactical objectives for the next 12 months based on your feedback. And we do limit membership of the Stakeholders Forum to our most key clients, but just the people in this room today represent over £5 million of turnover for us and over 5,000 users. So it gives you an example of a community, how important you are to us. So the feedback you give us today is really taken seriously. One of the founding reasons to start the Stakeholders Forum was to encourage dialogue between customers, because not only do we want it to be a partnership between ourselves and you, we would love you to be doing business with one another. And I know yesterday Lydia arranged a number of networking sessions with some clients, or one-on-one sessions, and that's the type of thing that this event we really want to be about. So, and in the breaks, and if you want introducing to anybody from another company around the table, let Lydia or Katie know, and they can organise that for you. Obviously, we're going to share our views and how we see us as a business going forward, and share with you our roadmap. But it isn't just about us presenting to you. So that's why we started the Stakeholders Forum. And interestingly, that reason is backed up by research. So I was reading some research from 451. So 451 are a research business very similar to Gartner and like that. And they do a lot of research in the hosting world. And this was one of their slides. And they very much talk about actually customer advocacy. A big percentage of achieving good customer advocacy and satisfaction is a trustworthy company. And that's really what this Stakeholders Forum is about. It's about us opening our soul and telling you what we think, and vice versa. And I think that builds trust, and enables us to really go above and beyond in terms of what you want us to be focusing on. Some house rules. We do want to encourage you to speak openly and freely. We have put a Q&A at the end of each session, but if you've got a burning question or a burning view or comment, please do speak up. I know the way that the room's laid out, we're trying to encourage that open dialogue, so please do speak up. And it is your forum, so if you've got any ideas on how we can make it better, we tried to order better weather yesterday for the golf, that didn't work. But yeah, if there is any ideas, content that you want to see next year, things changing, please do feedback to Lyd and Katie. And there is feedback forms in your packs on your table, but it's vital that you do that if you do. Yes, keep distractions to a minimum. I'm not going to ask you to turn your phones off. We're all very important people, so if you do need to take a call, please just keep your phone on and take it out. And if you do want to speak with any of the Nasstar team privately about anything that you don't want to discuss in the open forum, then again, let Lydia or Katie know, and we can arrange meetings. We've got meeting rooms that we can use if you want one-on-one meetings. I'm not going to introduce everyone that's here from us today. I think a lot of you will know the people that are here from Nasstar, but if there is anybody on that list that you don't know and you want specifically introducing to, again, let Lydia and Katie know, and we can organise that. But we have all got name badges on too. We've got a number of guest speakers today. I'm really excited by the guest speakers because getting third parties to come in and talk about their specialist area is really important. And we've got some great people in. We've got Deborah, who's a private investigator, who talked about. I think Deborah's already in this room over there. We've got Rich and Anthony from Barclays Bank. Thank you very much for your support coming in and talking, and then Steve also from Matrix. We've then got Christopher from the police force, who's here to talk about. Is Christopher in the room? No, not yet. And Tanya Vance from APSCO, which I'm delighted is here to talk and do one of the round tables, along with Simon Thompson, who's here to do one of the round tables. Is Simon in the room? Simon is the only person I've ever seen that can sleep standing up in a bar. It was a good night.